last day, okay? And it's actually, we're finished at noon, and then everybody will be getting their diplomas. And this posting is called The Highway to Hell, okay? Because your digestive tract is the most important highway for the rest of your life. The mouth being the front door, the rectum, anus being the back door, right? So understand something. That is just one long tube. Have you ever thought about that, Beth? That is just a tube. And have you ever thought about that that's the only part of you that is open to the outside world? All the rest of it is closed to the outside world. Okay? So our digestive tract is how long?
30 feet.
Approximately 30 feet. Okay, so the small intestine, which is the longest one, is about approximately 22, 23 feet. And then the large intestine is 5 to 7 feet long. Now the large intestine, we only call it the large intestine because if you actually take your fingers like this, see? That's about how big it is. Go ahead and do that. Okay? That's how big it should be. But for most people, their large intestine is this big. And they have what's called megacolon. Okay? All right? Because of impactions, because of it slowing down, you lose tonicity, you lose integrity. Remember something. 80 to 85% of your whole immune system is in your large intestine. It's in your bacteria. You have 50 trillion cells in the human body. Okay? You have 500 trillion bacteria. Bacteria are crawling on your eyelid right now, cleaning off the garbage. They are crawling all over your body. The bacteria that the medical system is trying to kill is what you are. The bacteria that the medical system is trying to kill is what you are. You are a walking glob of bacteria. You are not a walking glob of cells. Your bacteria will talk to your mind 9 times for every time your mind talks to your body. Your bacteria do more talking than anything else, and they do more orchestrating of your health. Every time that you have a bad emotion, negative emotion, and you swallow it and you cannot process it, you disturb your bacteria. Bad emotions cause bad moods, which cause bad bacteria. Every time that you have a bad mood, you make yourself a salad. No, you don't. You have a drink, you have a toke, you have a cigarette, you have a bag of chips, you have a carton of ice cream. Or you don't give yourself any water because if you don't like something, you're going to what? Starve it to death. Dehydrate it or not feed it properly. And that's where we are today. Your diet is either based on the vibration of self-love or self-hate. Now, whether it's done consciously or unconsciously does not matter. And understand something. Every family will say they have a good diet because everybody else in the family are eating the same way. Meanwhile, they all look like they've got not bowling balls, but beach balls in their tummy. They're grumpy at each other. They have sore joints. They have headaches. They don't have energy. They can't sleep. How many people in your family complain and explain about their life every day? Why it's not going the way they want. Okay, so mouth is the front door, rectum, anus, back door. Okay? All right, so when we go to eat, do you find that your table is a place where you discuss things that are not loving? Because if you do, that would be almost every family. Nobody gets to digest. The terrorist is at the table. Nobody is ever allowed to bring anything to the table except peace and love and tranquility. Because if you don't, you shouldn't eat. And if you're ever feeling upset, you shouldn't eat, you should drink. Because when you're upset, what are you doing? You're driving your energy, your blood, to your limbs. When you do that, that's why you get cramps. That's why you're bloated. Do not allow anyone to upset you, and do not upset anyone. And if you're upset, don't go to the table. Go somewhere by yourself and calm yourself down. I will not eat if I've had a very stressful hour, 2 hours. I will drink, but I will not eat. I will never do that to myself. I will not dishonor myself. So if you're upset, do not eat. Make sure that you are not upset. So you got to get the rules straight with all the family. You know, you don't make somebody sit at the table and eat supper that's having a bad mood. You sit there and eat your supper and then go to your room. Yeah, sit there, upset everyone, upset me, so we all don't digest our food. And so what you don't realize is you're running a self-hate program yourself, using your child or using someone else to actually sit there to ruin everyone's thing. And now we can blame it on that person for not digesting our food. See what you made me do? I feel awful. Your father feels awful. We all feel awful to make that person feel awful. How am I doing? Like, you've never seen that happen, have you? The more we stay connected to our breath and we stay calm and we allow somebody to know that they can't come to the table and terrorize, that they need to just go to their room and think about it, right? Okay? You have to put yourself first, because if you don't, you're not going to digest your food. And if you don't digest your food, it's going to turn on you. You're either digest your food or it's going to rot and putrefy inside of you. You're either going to process your emotions or they're going to rot and putrefy inside of you. That's all it is. It's one or the other. That's it. That's it. So, the majority of the population, when they look at food, they go, wow. There's only one thing people ask, and what's that? Will it fit in my mouth? And if it won't, I'll make it fit. Okay? So now we know that we are of what? A zombie nation. Because there's absolutely no thought. Now, a zombie nation is someone that doesn't realize they have a subconscious, and whatever prominent beliefs are in that subconscious is going to rule and school you, even with your diet. So unless you are the master of your subconscious, you'll never be the master of your life. Okay? So the other thing is you got to understand, corporations found this out a long time ago. Do you know when they found it out? Second World War, when they made canned food. They started putting chemicals in. They noticed that they were dumbing down the population, that the chemicals were actually dumbing them down. The chemicals were actually making people sick. That's why, okay, most definitely after the Second World War, they knew that prescription drugs had a place in the world. So inflame the people with the food and then come and put out the fire. So create the problem and then put out the fire. Now the same people that are the corporations that make 99% of all the food are the same people that own the pharmaceutical corporations. So poison the people and then numb them out, okay? Don't detox them. Now, if you understand this, then you'll understand why the medical system, detox is a dirty word, right? It's a dirty word. Foods make no difference. They make no difference what you eat. So if you've got cancer, it's not going to make a difference what you eat, right? And if you're getting chemo or therapy or radiation, foods that are antioxidants are going to kill you. So you can see liar, liar, pants on fire. But you know what? If you are going to be that numbed out, oh, wait a minute, you're a zombie already. And you're just going to believe that stuff. I mean, anybody with a logical mind would understand that the whole thing is just corrupt right down to the core. Okay? So when you look at a food, you need to ask yourself about that food. Is this food straight from the farmer? And the farmer that was making that food, was he corrupted by corporations? And has he been spraying that food? Is he using glyphosate? Is he using pesticides, herbicides? All right? So you need to ask yourself all these questions, but then you're going to tell yourself that eating organic makes no difference, which is a lie. Then you're going to tell yourself that you can't afford it, which is a lie as well. But if you say you can't afford organic, at least get yourself a structured water unit and spray all your salads, spray everything you eat with structured water. Just even spritz it. It'll change the energy. Soak everything in structured water. Because you need to restructure it, because that's what the body does. The body's going to structure everything when it comes in, or try to, So you might as well structure it and take the load off. It's the difference between if you drink structured water today, all day, and if you didn't drink structured water, you drank, let's say, bottled water, spring water, distilled water, reverse osmosis water, carbon filtered water. All of those waters would take as much energy to structure as if it would take as much energy to drive the electricity in a 2,500 square foot home for 2 months. And that's just one day. So Mother Nature structures everything. Did you know that fruit is structured? Salads are structured. The water in them is structured. Did you know that the rain that comes down is structured? That's why it can be poisoned right now, but it's not poisoning the birds, the bees, flowers, and the trees and you. It will not harm organisms. That's why we believe in structuring. So when you look at a food, you're going to say, will this food nourish me? Will this food bring in energy? Will it restore me? Or will this food poison me? Is this food alive or is this food dead? How long before it has been picked? And the more man touches it, the less you want it. So the more boxes, bags, and cans that come into your house, the more you're poisoning the planet and yourself. And everybody goes, let's save the planet. Well, look at, they say that this is the 5th go around, that we've destroyed the planet 4 times. So it's just a game, right? So guess what happens? When human life no longer exists here because we poisoned ourselves, right? The earth will burp, fart, and then chug, start over again. Let's save the earth. Or how about this? Let's all prepare because we're going to go move to Mars when there's nothing there. Life can't exist there. So you see how everything's a distraction, right? How everything is not about loving yourself, staying here. I mean, you can actually, I was at a bank about a month ago and there's actually people in line talking about, yeah, I'd like to go to Mars. And I'm going, are you like mental? I didn't say it out loud, but are you like mental? Do you even listen to what you say? So you understand that we're all programmed. Your subconscious, 90% of your brain. And understand something. We went through this before. First you have an image. And then with every image creates a thought. And then with every thought, you create a signal. You create a frequency. You create an emotion. Now have that same image enough and it's negative. And guess what? We know that Einstein stated that energy creates mass. That's proven. Energy creates mass. So Clara, go ahead, have the same thought about yourself. Everybody here came from the same creator. We all have the same God. We all came from that big same spiritual ball. But everybody down here is unique because of the images you hold for yourself, the world, your family, your life. That's the only difference. Sure, Hope, you're a woman, I'm a man, right? And the only reason why we're different that way is because you have different hormones and chemicals. If I had all the hormones and chemicals that you had, and we switched them, okay, I'd be into your clothes. I'd be wanting to get into your clothes. So understand that. I hope you get this. So understand that we are made out of hormones and chemicals, and those hormones and chemicals are ruled by our emotions. Well, wait a minute, but our emotions are ruled by what? Our thoughts. Our thoughts are ruled by the images we have about ourselves. So what's the image you have about yourself, Karen, right now?
Positive.
How was it this morning?
Not good.
And how was it the day before?
Horrible.
Okay, so who's in control?
I am.
No, you're not. You can't have that many different thoughts and say you're in control. Where's the consistency? Not intensity. Where's the consistency? We need to be consistent with our thoughts. That means you need to be consistent about your image. So how are you going to stay consistent about your image, Karen? You're going to be going home to Little Terrace and Big Terrace. How are you going to hold the line?
Reprogram my subconscious.
Yeah, you haven't been doing the 12 steps. You've let them go. See? I already knew she did, because it's impossible to be like that and not. But why did you? Well, because she hasn't done the work. Until you do the work, repetition is the key. I only eat good now because I repeat it enough. And thank God that I have enough energy in me that if I eat something, it makes me feel sick. Don't you just love when you go out to dinner with someone? You know, usually it's a man and a wife. They'll go out to dinner, they'll eat Chinese food, and she's like vomiting, throwing up, hanging her head out the window. And he's going, what's wrong with you? You're not very well, are you? So, see, he doesn't even understand that he doesn't even have enough vitality in him. His body just says, well, we ain't gonna throw this up because this is all we get anyways, and the moron doesn't even listen to us when we do. So at least the woman has more bells and whistles, and she's throwing up because the body's going, this is not good for you. I need to throw this up. So what do you want? You want to throw up or do you want diarrhea? And him, he just burps and farts. And that's usually the way it is with men. Why? Because women have more bells and whistles. They bring life into the world. So they need things to go. That's why women are neurotic. That's what men say. They're neurotic. Meanwhile, they're the canary in the coal mine. And mankind is not kind to women. Because we can make so much money off of them. Because they're always screaming. Okay, so you want to think about your food. And you want to make sure your food combined. Let's keep that really light, okay? So when we eat proteins, we can eat them with salads and veggies. When you eat, what are proteins? Well, beans, lentils, nuts, seeds, fish, chicken, pork. I would never eat pork. Pigs don't sweat. That's why if they don't sweat, even if you tell me that you feed them organically, it's still not good for you. They're very toxic. So the reality is, okay, so when you eat protein, you can have it with a salad and a steamed vegetable. When you have a starch, you can have it with a salad and a steamed vegetable. But you should never take a starch and a protein together because the two of them will neutralize each other. And then when they neutralize each other, now you're bloated, or you fall asleep, or you've got a headache, or you've got low back pain, or your ovaries are crying out. So nobody food combines. Most people just let it go. I eat a really mono diet. Like I try to not eat a whole bunch of stuff. Like people will say, you know, do a salad. I do a really great, you should see it. It's really beautiful. I do this fruit salad. I just throw everything in. You don't do that. When you eat one thing and you eat that one thing, your body goes, wow, thanks a lot. So the more stressed out you are, the sicker you are, the less energy you have, the more you have to have a really simple diet because your body doesn't have enough energy to do all these things. And the more concentrated a food is, I'm not going to give somebody who's sick animal protein. How are they going to digest? You think they got a second set of teeth down there? And if they're a blood type A, they can't digest it. Blood type O, they're going to digest it better because they have strong hydrochloric acid. Like a blood type O has like 4 to 8 times stronger hydrochloric acid than I do. I mean, I can eat something that's not good for me and I'll be sick in 20 minutes, okay? Lori, she's a blood type O. She could eat anything and not even a burp or a fart. But blood type O's, they can eat anything and they think they can, and they're the ones that go to the doctor and say, I never felt a thing and I've got a melon-sized tumor in me. I get more O's coming in with tumors than you ever thought. Well, have you ever had digestion problems? Not at all. Yeah. Yes, you have. In other places. A's will get heartburn more, you know, because our hydrochloric acid is weaker. We're born that way. O's are cave people, you know. They could eat a dinosaur's butt on the run. Okay, so here's the deal. How many of you chew your food until it's a liquid? Because guess what? You'd never have a digestive disorder in your life. You would get 8 to 10 times more nutrition out, and you wouldn't have any gas, you wouldn't have any cramping, you'd have nothing going on. That's why you don't eat when you're stressed out. If you eat when you're stressed out, you're toast. Because if you eat when you're stressed out, all that energy goes to your limbs. It's not focusing on digesting your food. And when you're stressed out, you're always in a hurry because you're in fight or flight. So you're taking the food down in chunks. You don't have a second set of teeth in your stomach. So the smaller the particle is when you're eating, the more money you're going to save, the more health you're going to have. You can eat, I guarantee you, everybody here, you can eat 1/3 of your food if your solids become liquids before you swallow. Yeah. So how fast do you eat, Sean?
Much slower now.
How fast did you used to eat, Sean?
Incredibly fast.
Yeah, like, wow, I could see it. So guess what? His children now eat fast. He's given his children the idea that they're poverty stricken and there's not enough food and there's not enough time. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Why, Daddy? I don't care. I don't know. Just hurry up. Let's get these dishes cleared away. We got to get going, right? Huh? Where are you going? You always notice that if you connect to your breath and you calm down, you actually have more time. That's how you expand time. How do you expand time? By connecting to your breath and calming down. Oh, I've got so much to do and so little time. There goes your digestion. So we want to make sure we combine properly, okay? So if I was going to have rice, I could have it with salad. If I was going to have animal protein or lentils or beans, I'm going to have it with salad and a steamed vegetable, right? Or just do yourself a favor. Have a big salad, sprinkle some beans on there, okay? Some Himalayan salt, you know? Understand something. You only eat the way you are because you're addicted, okay? All right? Okay? Like you guys are addicted to junk food, right? You know you are. I see it since we've been here, right? And so they're addicted to the chemicals that are in the junk food. So we can't really blame them. You just got to stop buying them. Are you still buying them, Hope?
No, I'm not, but the person in my home does, and that's where I stop it.
Well, you got to understand something. You need to stop it.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you can't be the queen of your castle and you're going to let the king undermine the home, then what are you the queen of?
Nothing.
That's right. You're the queen of nothing. Right. Okay. Yeah. So on one hand, we're going to buy all kinds of supplements and we're going to go on cleanses and do this, and then we're going to let somebody undermine the house. So the reality is, honey, I love you, and you know, if you have to eat toxic food, then do it in the car or go out to do that. At least love the family enough not to bring the poison home. And if a person can't do that, then why in the hell are you with that person? Did you hear me? I have the right to say that. Okay? And understand that. I have the right to say that. Why are you with that person? Well, because you're dishonoring yourself. I'm not going to let somebody live with me and then I'm going to let them continually dishonor them. See, as long as somebody dishonors themselves, they're dishonoring you and they're dishonoring everyone else. Now, does that make them a bad person? No, that just shows that they haven't got the proper tools, okay? The proper tools to actually change the prominent beliefs that are in their subconscious. So I'm not going to hate that person for it, but I'm definitely going to hold the line. And here's the deal. Unless you give your boys, okay, tools to enhance their life and their mind, they're going to do it with drugs, right? They might even look for like, what do you call it, a vapor pen? Mm-hmm. Right, Lucas? They might even look for a vapor pen to suck on, eh? Right? Okay, so that's what they're going to do. If they don't learn how to enhance their mind and start loving themselves, they're going to do vapor pens, they're going to do drugs, you know, and it could get really messy. Alcohol, right? But you've been down that road before. I mean, how many people here have somebody in their family or how many families here, put your hand up, that there's no alcoholics in your family? Yeah, but you don't count. Okay? Yeah. So, I'm trying to tell you is that alcoholism should be illegal. I mean, alcohol should be illegal. It's just that the government makes so much money off of it. They make money off of alcohol. They make money off of tobacco. Now they've just set us up to make money off of what? Marijuana. But here's the deal. The only reason why everybody's craving CBDs is because of the blue light that's off your phone, off your lights, off your computer. Okay? All right? There's blue light everywhere. And so that destroys the endocannabinoid system in your body. So now you're not making endocannabinoids to get rid of the pain in your body. So now you get to go and buy the CBDs. Do you understand? And then what's going to happen here, you may not know it, but the tobacco corporations and the liquor corporations are going to buy everybody out. And they're going to take over this whole thing. They're just letting everybody set it up for them. Mark my words. The government doesn't do anything unless it's plotting with corporations, right? Listen, wake the heck up, okay? Wake the heck up. Listen, it doesn't matter how corrupt the world is. It's a beautiful place. As soon as you connect to that which created you, okay, and nature, and if you stay connected to that, it doesn't matter where the world goes. You're going to have a beautiful life. Because we can't control the world. Wait a minute. We can't even control our families, can we? We can't control anybody outside ourselves. We need to be the light. So anyway, so we want to make sure we chew our food, and everything needs to be a liquid before you swallow it. And if it was, wow, you'd spend so much less money. You'd have to do less detox. You'd have triple the energy. Your bowels would move properly as well too, okay? And understand something, whether you want to believe this or not, everybody eats when they're tired now. Nobody goes and gets connected to their breath. Call it what you want. A quiet time with God, meditation, prayer, a 20-minute lay down nap, just a quiet nap. You'll get up and you won't be hungry. So try that out. Try drinking structured water, enough of it. If you're a woman, at least 3 quarts a day. If you're a man, at least 4 to 5 quarts a day. Do those things first and you'll find out you're not really hungry. You need to understand, what do corporations need you to do? Eat all the time. Listen, honey, we need 3 good meals a day and 3 snacks, right? Okay, and think about it. Think about this. What do you think about this, Andrea? They have actually put into us that a treat is poison. Well, I've worked so hard this week, I'm going to go out and drink. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. You know what, sweetie? You've been so good. Let's go for ice cream and get some of that radiator fluid into you.
I didn't know it was radiator fluid.
Yeah, battery acid too, in some of it. So it's got all kinds of great stuff in it. You know, and even the ice creams that are made out of more organically, you still don't overdo those things. It's still sugar. It's still refined down to a sugar, right? Remember something. It's not that sugar's bad for you because everything breaks down into a sugar. It's how fast it enters your bloodstream. You know, it needs to trickle in, not come in and just whack you in the face, because that's the mood changes, right? You know, those Tostitos or whatever, I don't even know what they're called. But you buy those, no, but whether it's chips or whether those little burrito things you buy, Costco or, yeah, those things. Those aren't even real food. And when you eat them, you get jacked up. You feel like you're going up in energy because they're so loaded with sugar. And then when you get done, you feel nauseous in your tummy. So what do you think that does to your mood? And what do you think that does to your family? Right? Everybody doesn't understand, but bad food causes a bad mood. Right? And when you're in a bad mood, it causes you to eat bad food. So now you're the pinball family. And then guess what? People actually get divorced over this stuff. There's actually fights over this stuff. People actually go suicide over this. I mean, come on, the suicide rate has actually gone up 150% in the last 2 years. We are chemical human beings and we're putting in the wrong chemicals. We're triggering the wrong chemicals. Right off the bat, everybody needs to drink structured water. Right off the bat, everybody needs to be on daily cleansing tea every day. Right off the bat, everybody needs to put a Wi-Fi in their home because everybody's got what? Wi-Fi in their home. And we already know that 5G is coming, but 3G is bad enough. So understand something. If you don't want to get control of your diet, you're not going to get control of your life. So what you need to do is you need to make your home a health zone, a love zone. So you know what? Nobody comes in in a bad mood. Or if they want to come in and they have a bad mood, we sit down lovingly and we talk about it. You know, how many times do people actually fight about the same things, couples, every day for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years? What's that do to your digestion? You know? I mean, you're never going to get the medical system and even a great part of the natural health system to talk about emotions. You're not going to get any of them talking about self-love, because most people, even in natural health, don't even know what self-love is. They'll preach love, but they don't know what self-love is. And until you have self-love, you don't have self-care. And that's it right there. And don't you think corporations know this? That's why when I talk about self-love, I get poo-pooed on. 25 years ago, when I started talking about self-love, people thought that I was the devil. Okay? Yeah, he's trying to come in with this self-love thing, and he's actually a devil worshiper. Yeah. So that's how programmed people are. It's not hard to eat right once you practice it enough. But you got to practice it, because we're all addicts, right? Mm-hmm. We're drama addicts, we're trauma addicts, we're chemical addicts, okay? Whether you believe it or not, everybody in this room is a drug addict. If you buy corporate food. Now, is there corporate food in everyone's house right now? That's right. So you have to understand that. So even if you're going to go to organic processed, it's still not good for you. You need to get that. Health food stores aren't even a health food store. That's just a name. Go into any health food store and then really walk through and then tell me what is really pure, high vibrational food, high vibrational nutrition. Most of it isn't. How about 80%? And if you go to a grocery store, it's only the veggies, then they might not be either. So what I'm saying is it's a game. I know it's a challenge, but it isn't. It's a challenge for the subconscious because it doesn't want to change. It's a challenge for the subconscious, but it's a challenge for you because most of your family doesn't know that their subconscious is ruling them. They don't understand that corporations have them in lockdown now and that they're being programmed to poison themselves. You do need to understand this, and I will be around, and hopefully you will be too. But in the next 15 to 20 years, they hope to get rid of 50% of the population through 5G, glyphosate. I could give you the whole list. But the reality is that doesn't have to happen. But you're going to have to make different choices and take it back. You're going to have to take your life back. And understand that doesn't come by watching TV. It doesn't come by going to school, okay? Because I say right now, if you send your children to school, you're sending them to screw. They're being screwed, okay? Because we know that all the textbooks that are made by the Rockefeller Foundation, okay? All right? So do your homework. Do your homework. You've decided to play a very interesting game when you decide to come down to planet Earth. But just remember something. You came down here to lose yourself. You came down here to lose your health, but then to rise up from the ashes like the phoenix and not just save yourself, but to save others. Because everybody wants to be a hero. You'd like to be a hero, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you like to be a hero? Everybody here wants to be a hero. Okay, nobody says, I want to go to a movie where everybody gets killed. I want to go to a movie where it looks like everyone's going to be killed, and then somebody comes out of the bushes and goes, yeah, I've got the answer. Well, you are the answer. You're the answer to everything. You're the answer to changing your life. You're the answer to ending lack in your life, from love to money to health to everything. And once you get that, you don't need me. You don't need anyone else. There's a genius inside of you. There's a practitioner inside of you. Everything is inside of you, okay? What you did was you said, I'm going to allow myself to go down to planet Earth and totally be programmed to kill myself. And then I'm going to wake up in the nick of time and finish this game properly. All right, you got this.